Hello everyone and welcome to Spot. In this episode, I thought it's gonna be quite amazing to showcase you a pretty easy to do build, and with the recent announcement the ladder seasons coming up early next year, that's gonna be quite amazing as well. So I thought this character build is gonna be really helpful for the majority of the folks out there which are looking to start a Sorceress class, but they haven't played the game before, or maybe they just took a very long break, or they just started all over again, or whatever the reason is. Anyway, this build might be helpful for you guys out there. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we're gonna have a look at the distribution of the stat points, and that's super simple. Basically, I've put every single point which this character had into energy, and absolutely nothing into rest of the stats, as you can see. And the reason behind that, it's very simple. Basically, it's a energy build sorceress using Frozen Orb as a primary attack, and this is gonna be extremely probably the cheapest build I have ever did. It's not gonna utilize any unique item, neither rune ward items in any regard. So basically every single item this character is running are just some rare crappy items which you're gonna happen to come across while playing the game during hell difficulty, and normally while leveling your character, even starting from normal. These are the items which you're gonna use to build this character, and this as well works with the mercenary. So as you can see, this is our frozen orb damage. It seems quite low, but don't let that fool you, simply because we have cold mastery, which reduces astronomical amount of the cold resistances in the enemies, and we really have to hit them quite hard considering that. So in terms of defense, we have almost no chance to block and almost no defense. So you can kind of say this build is somewhat of a glass cannon, as the majority of the sorceresses are, until they reach the very high-end builds and they got a lot of end gear in their possession. So as it is right now, it's a quite a squishy character, but yet again I've managed to provide her with decent survivability so she can excel and do quite well in hell difficulty. And as you can see, our resistance pool looks quite well. Overall resistance capped at 75, which is really good. In terms of life and mana, we have only 411 HP and 1343 mana, so that's about it. And now let's have a look over the skill tree. So let's start with the fire spells. This is super easy and super simple, just a single point into warmth. This is a passive skill, increases the mana rate of which your mana recovery, and really helpful. So one of them one hit wonders, definitely recommend putting 1 point into it. Let's go over the lightning spells now. So in here, you'd like to max out and put 20 points into energy shield, as well as 20 points into telekinesis, which is the synergy for the energy shield. And basically what it does is, the more points you dump into telekinesis, the less mana is being consumed to absorb the damage your character receives, so that's really helpful. And there is a single point into static field, just to be able to deal with monsters which happen to be cold immunes, and in these situations you just static them down until they got down to 50% HP, and then rely on your mercenary to do the killing. After that, that's the rest of the skills are just 1 point into them, as they are prerequisites to get down to energy shield. So let's go over the cold spells now. In here, single point into frozen armor, just as a little bit of extra defensive touch, and all it does is just to freeze the monsters which are attacking you, and that's pretty much it. But yet again quite helpful, so I'd recommend spend a single point into it. And in here, you would like to have a frozen orb, which is your probably on the attack, we can say, with this build maxed out. So you put 20 points into it, and then this is quite important, you don't want to max out the Ice Bolt, which is the synergy for the Frozen Orb. You want to max out the Cold Mastery, and this is quite important because yet again, even if you max out the Ice Bolt, your damage will get significantly higher, probably to about 500 or so, but this will eventually not deal that good amount of damage because the Cold Master is gonna reduce way less than what it is at the moment. So at the end, you're gonna end up dealing less damage if you max out the Ice Bolt instead of the Cold Mastery skill. So take a note of that. And apart from that, that's pretty much it with the skill tree. And yeah, so while leveling this character, all you want to do is just dump all your points into energy. Don't worry about the strength and the items at all. There's plenty of items with extremely low strength requirements, like 12, 15, and 20. And there's also a variety of rare items which can spawn with reduced requirements mode. So it's quite easy to actually gear up a Sorceress without even spending points into strength or dexterity at all, so don't worry about that too much. In terms of what you want to do with skills while leveling, till level 18 you want to just unlock each one of these, so you can have the teleport skill, 1 point into warmth, that's about it, and you forget about these skill trees until level 24 when you just put a single point into energy shield. And after that it's just quite easily, you mostly rely on the party for the early levels where you're only gonna utilize Ice Bolt, and I suggest you to level it up around 5 or something like that. And after that, all you do is just unlock the next skills until you get to Blizzard at level 24. So with Blizzard you can kind of start to deal a little bit more damage and be a bit more helpful for the party until you make it down to level 30, and then you kind of start using your Frozen Orb as an attack and you can start dealing damage. And after 30 you want to level your Frozen Orb to probably about level 5, then put around 5 points into Cold Mastery, and after that you can kind of manage which you want to level up first. I'd suggest to level up 1 point into Energy Shield, 1 point into Frozen Orb until they're both maxed out, and then at this point you can do the same with the Telekinesis and the Cold Mastery. So that's about with the leveling process. And now we're gonna have a look over the items, and we're gonna start with the Mercenary first. So as I've already said, there have been 0 run wards and 0 unique items being utilized in this build. Everything is rare in terms of quality. So let's have a look over the weapon. So that's a rare treasure with quite a bit of enhanced damage on it, as well as maximum damage based on character level and 136% damage to demons. So the Mercenary is actually dealing quite a good amount of damage on health difficulty, and he's able to killing monsters. And now in terms of helm, quite a crappy one, but basically the best I could find while leveling up this character. So a little bit of life, faster hit recovery, lightning resistant, poison resist, and the armor, again quite a crappy one, 2 to strength, fire resist, and that's about it pretty much, just a little bit high on the defense side. And as it is, the Mercenary had not the worst resistances and is dealing quite well, and of course you can manage to save him from difficult situations with the teleport skill. So it's just a bit trickier to play with lower class items, so you have to be a bit more aware of the surroundings and what the situation is and how to maneuver your character and that. And in terms of the inventory we have, that again is, let's start with the shield. So all the items are rare with quite stacked on certain options, which you're gonna see in a minute. So in this shield we got 15% faster block rate, 10% increased chance of blocking, 2 to strength, 4 to dexterity, 5 to energy, 24 to life, some stamina, and quite a bit of resistances, as well as 25% extra gold from monsters. So what you want to target in terms of options which you want to look in your items, that's going to be uh, things which you want to target are life, mana, or vitality and energy stats, as well as strength stats, so you can boost your character to be able to equip higher quality gear, and all resist. These are the primarily things which you want to have a look at. And then after that, if you happen to get something like extra gold from monsters or increase magic find, that's gonna be a nice addition to the items. So let's have a look over the gloves now. As you can see, the strength requirement on the shield is only 25, and the gloves, again, strength requirement is only 20, so rare sharkskin gloves here. Nothing special about them, just cold resist 30, fire resist 17, 18% chance of getting magic items, and 1 to light radius, so that's about the gloves. We can move on to the boot slot now. And here what we've got is, again, crappy rare boots, just a little bit of faster on walk, 20%. That's the average. They can spawn with 10, 20 or 30, so that's not too bad out there. And 9 to dexterity, cold resist 18, fire resist 30, and 16% better chance of getting magic items, so a little bit of MF on the boots. Not too bad. And again, you can see we're stacking on stats and resistances. Now let's have a look over the belt. So the belt, again, strength requirement 20, and it provides us with 17 to strength, enough belt slots, as you can see. And there is a 32 to life, and replenish life 7, which is a really important option whenever you want to level up a energy shield sorceress, simply because the life pool the energy shield sorceress has is significantly lower compared to the other builds. So the replenish life option is actually really helpful in this situation. And then there's also a little bit of mana and cold resist on the belt, so that's about it with the belt. Now let's have a look over the amulet. So the amulet, again, quite crappy, just what I've been able to gather up while leveling this character from the ground. And 2 to lightning skills, 26 to mana, all resistance is 15, and that's about it. So again, we're stacking on mana, all resist, and just a little bit of extra lightning skills to increase our energy shield effectiveness. And now let's have a look over the armor. So the armor, again, quite crappy, strength requirement on it 36, so quite low as well. 24% faster hit recovery, 3 to strength, 31 to life, and it's being soaked with a perfect school to get replenish life 5 and regenerate mana 19%. The armor also comes with cold resist 28 and fire resist 22, so again we're stacking on resistances, a little bit of extra life, strength, and 24% faster hit recovery coming from the armor slot. Now let's have a look over the rings. So, simple ring, 10% faster cast rate, 3 to strength, replenish life again, while stacking on it. 9 here, poison resist 15, and let's have a look over the other ring. 10% faster cast rate again, a little bit of strength, nice amount of energy and mana in there, as well as lightning resist, so that's about it with the rings. Now the helm, so we have this tiara, which comes with 2 to sorceress skills, 25 to life, again soaked with perfect school to get additional replenish life 5 and regenerate mana 19%, also comes with 60 mana, so that's quite helpful. Lightning resist 14 and damage reduced by 3, quite helpful again. So if this one's been spawned with 20% faster cast rate and some strength, for example, that would have been really nice drop, but it is what it is. And now let's have a look over the last piece of the puzzle, which is gonna be the sparkling bow. Again, rare item, level requirement 42, no strength or anything. It gives 2 to sorceress skill level, 20% faster cast rate, 13 energy, 27 life, and it's been soaked with a crappy draw to get replenish life 2, a little bit of poison resist and magic chance. Also comes with 22 cold resist, so as you saw, in terms of gear, we're looking to stack on certain options like replenish life, increase life, and overall all resistances, and as well as regenerate mana if possible. And that way, we've been able to reach this decent amount of all resistances, and we can kind of provide somewhat of a survivability for this sorceress. The problem which you might eventually face. That's gonna be the mana burn monster, so you just have to be a bit more careful with your surroundings, as I've already said, and the gameplay can be a bit more tricky that way, but yet again, it's quite a powerful build, and she's dealing really well in hell. So on weapon switch, we've got absolutely nothing. Now, quick look over the charms. So charms, nothing special, just resistances mainly to be able to hit that 75. A little bit of life and mana, these 3, 4 actually. Here are some stats with resistances. So these charms are, as you can see, really low quality. They're basically all crap, which people are not gonna use neither these items, and this is actually an extremely good setup for a starting build, and if you're just new player and if you just follow this guide, you're gonna have a decent start, trust me. Even in the ladder, when the ladder starts, you can do really well with similar items. And how to obtain these charms, that's quite easy as well. All you want to do is make about 20-30 runs in nightmare difficulty doing cows, and you're gonna get similar charms with similar quality quite easily in there. So that's about it, finding the charms, and again the inventory, just while playing the game you're gonna happen to come across to similar items to these, so that's not gonna be very difficult to obtain either. And I've already discussed the options which you want to look to stack on. So you might be a bit worried that we don't have a lot of faster cast rate with this build, but that's not entirely necessary, simply because there's a bit of a cooldown on the Frozen Orb skill anyway, so we're not missing a lot in terms of DPS. We're probably missing a bit in terms of teleport speed, but that's about it. Now let's discuss the areas which you would like to run with this setup. So in terms of Act 1, you can do quite well doing catacomb runs, I mean Andario runs, and that's quite easy, and most of Act 1 finishes with that. Of course you can do a bit of a Black Marsh runs for the Forgotten Tower and rely on your mercenary to kill the contest. So that's about it from Act 1. In Act 2, what you can do is to run Lost City and look for the trapdoor, which is gonna lead you to the Ancient Tunnels. This is 85 level area in terms of drops in the game. You can expect to get absolutely everything in there, so this is a really good place. There's also naturally not that many cold immune monsters in this place, so really good place for this build to shine. And the other place is gonna be the Arcane Sanctuary. In there you can kinda hunt down the Summoner and expect to get a decent amount of rune drops from the Rites and the other monsters in there. And their rune drop is a little bit elevated because they don't possess a physical form, and they mostly drop scrolls of Town Portal identification, potions and runes, so you can expect to get a nice rune drop in this area, as well as farming keys from the Summoner himself, which also comes true for the Black Marsh Forgotten Tower farming the contest. You can also farm keys there, which can be traded later on in the ladder, or you can use them yourself. That's entirely up to you. So in terms of Act 3, here you can do Mephisto runs without any problem. And in terms of Act 4, you can do also Chaos runs, just have to be a little bit more careful. Again, this is level 85 area in the game, which you can happen to come across every single unique item, and those extremely good drops happen to come across in there. In terms of Act 5, you can sometimes do Worldstone Keep run, like Bell runs and that, but that kind of relies on the random map generator and what kind of monsters are gonna be in there. But of course in party you can go pretty much everywhere with this build, so the survivability is there, the damage is also there. And for an example, I'm gonna try to do a Chaos Sanctuary run right now and kill Diablo, so probably showcase you the effectiveness of this build. And again, just remember, we're not using single unique or any hidden item, neither a rune word or anything of this matter. We're entirely using only crappy items which we found along the way while playing the game. Neither traded for anything, or anything in our possession has any value, put it that way, so we're mostly wearing nothing apart but junks. And as you can see, this is health difficulty at 4, so quite late in the game. Going to the Chaos Sanctuary. Every now and then you have to drink mana or health potion simply because it's just the way it is. And now we've made it to the Chaos Sanctuary. As you can see, we're dealing with the enemies not that difficult, and we're also trying to keep our mercenary alive by teleporting him around with us. And whenever there are only the cold monsters left, all you do is use static field on them and just teleport next to them and use your mercenary to kill them. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful with keeping my mercenary alive. Whoa, we don't have enough gold. Oh, that's a shame. So we'll have to continue without the mercenary for a bit. So we'll probably get a little bit more gold. So we're not gonna kill the cold immune monsters as of it right now. Just gonna ignore them for the time being. These cold pack, so I'm gonna skip on these. And as I've already said, the damage output in the character screen might be appearing quite low, that 363 up to 382. But as you can see, we're on health difficulty at 4 and we're killing monsters so easily that, yeah, it's just doing really well, this build, I'd say. And the survivability is definitely there. Our resistances are basically protecting us as well as our energy shield. And I'm not teleporting around too much, simply because we don't have that much of a faster cast rate, and you also have to be a bit conservative with the surrounding area. You don't want to really teleport into big groups and packs of monsters, so this can be fatal. And yeah, apart from that, as you can see, we're dealing quite well. And good thing about it is that the Frozen Orb also slows the enemies by slowing them and by freezing them. I mean, that was kind of stupid what I just said. And yeah, basically this brings you a little bit of crowd control in the mix, so you can kind of deal with the packs a little bit easier that way. And also, what I forgot to mention, the mercenary which I normally use, that's a nightmare difficult mercenary, which is utilizing the Holy Freeze aura to additionally help with the crowd control with the area by utilizing the Holy Freeze aura. It's actually really helpful and is doing really well with the added survivability which it provides. So just drink the mana potion, and I think we've killed the unique monster, the Vizier, so we can kind of go ahead and to the next packs. So as you can see, big groups of enemies here. All you want to do is just stay back and cast those Frozen Orb from a distance. And yeah, you just destroy everything pretty much. Unless it's an immune to cold monster, then you're gonna have trouble. And as it is right now, we're doing quite well, and we're getting down to those cold monsters already. So these are quite a few of them. That's a problem actually. So what I might have to do is to get like an item from the ground and just sell it to the vendors for like 35k and buy the mercenary pack. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, this one there's actually 2 immune to cold here, and they're gonna get spawned as well with the next pack with the Lord Disease. Oh, it also happened to be immune to lightning. Immune to cold and immune to lightning, so I can't use static field on him. This is really unfortunate situation. Trying to showcase this build. Oh yeah, I put the white monarch in there, so just give me a minute. I'll try to be quicker with that.
What do you need?
Anyway, I have that many white monarchs that I don't really need this one, so I'm gonna actually sell it for gold. Just to get the mercenary back. I don't feel bad for it, because yeah, I just have too many of them, so I don't really need them anyway. And what we're gonna do now is jump over the next group. So the mercenary is leveled up. That's good. So we're level 87, the mercenary is as well level 87. Let's Let's try to deal with the Venom Knights and the Venom Lords now. Again, just try to keep the mercenary behind of the massive fight and utilize his Holy Freeze aura to slow everything down. Good thing about it is even the podium monsters are getting slowed and freezed by the mercenary aura, so that's really nice. A little bit of movement here just to maintain the mercenary alive. We just have to stay back, and we've managed to kill the monsters. So what we'll have to do now is probably the hardest bit to kill Lord Disease. Problem is there's all these monsters down there. The podium, this one is also mana burn. Oh, why so many immunities? This is really bad for us. Flame Bang. Where is actually Lord Disease? Whoa! This is really difficult. I'm finding it. Maybe in situations like this, maybe you just want to re-roll the map. If it gets to that point where there's those very strong cold immune monsters and your mercenary can't deal with them as they're that stacked. This is really bad actually, but we'll see if we can do anything about it. So I'll try to help out a little bit with the telekinesis, just to try to kind of mini-stun these ones, so we get them cornered. That's good. Oh no, the mercenary died again. Okay, let's get that plate from the ground and try to sell that. Oh my god. Getting into a really dangerous situation around here.
Greetings.
Funny thing is that Diablo is actually way easier to deal with than these monsters before him, and we still don't have enough gold. Really funny situation, but yet again this is also showcasing you the struggles which you might happen to come by with a build like this and a setup like this that early on. So what we're gonna do is just sell a flawless gem for a little bit of gold to get that mercenary back. Okay, here we are. Let's see if we got anything left to get some potions maybe. And that's about it. We got some mana. Okay, let's go back and see what we can do about it. So here he is in the corner. Giving potions to the mercenary, giving him a full rejuve this time. And yeah, we actually made it. So that was quite on the edge, to be honest. But yet again, we've been able to do it. So now we'll just have to kill Diablo as well. Maybe I'll just get some more full rejuve potions. Okay, and let's go and have a little bit of fun with Diablo. So start to build on him just for the beginning of the fight, and then just going back and casting golden orbs until he dies, and that's about it pretty much. Just beware with that lightning skill, can kill the mercenary really easy. So we just want to give him some potions. Okay. Also be careful with that massive fire. And there it is. So we have our Chaos Run completed on a hell difficulty with nothing else but crappy items and crappy charms in our inventory. We don't really have anything decent or anything valuable or anything high-end, and we're entirely relying on the stats distribution and the skill distribution with this build, as well as the stacked all resistances and mana and life bonuses from our gear to be able to survive and sustain ourselves. And the main problem is to actually keep the mercenary alive. Good thing is that while you can do all these things and do all these runs, you will eventually happen to come by to a high level room or probably something valuable like uniques or things like that, and maybe you can trade with other players. So eventually this is gonna lead you to nothing else but upgrades for this build, and you can start building on the top of it. The more items you get, the stronger the build is gonna get, and also the better it's gonna perform. Also, you can do hell cow runs, which are quite easy as well for this setup. And I think that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. I know it's been a bit longer, but I've been trying to explain it in a bit more detail, so it's easier to understand by everyone. And I hope that it's helpful for you out there, which are willing to give it a try. So that's about it for this video, guys. And please click the like button, also click the subscribe button if you're not subscriber yet, help the channel grow. I'm also gonna be releasing more content in the future, so stay tuned for that and see you later.